public
Resume
session.
public session. No, you're just gonna hit it and say we're resuming public session,
public session. Okay.
and then pledge allegiance.
We're resuming public session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Welcome to Neil Armstrong.
We'd like to thank everyone and welcome everyone to Neil Armstrong. And at this time, Ms. McGarry, where is she? Oh, there she is. We're going to turn it over to Ms. McGarry.
Okay, just all right. Well, on behalf of the Neil Armstrong School community and my assistant principal, Denise Giza, I would like to welcome you, Vice President Dr. Richards, board members, Superintendent Daly, cabinet members, guests, and colleagues to Neil Armstrong School. I think we're beginning tonight with our Spartan Pride Awards. Is that correct?
That's after your presentation.
Oh, that's after. Oh,
Yep.
Very good. Well, tonight's Neil Armstrong report is a summary of the highlights of our 2020-2021 school year thus far. It is only October. Overarching these highlights is the tremendous effort our students and staff have made showing the Spartan way. I hope you enjoyed, board members, the reading the students' own words describing what the Spartan way looks like in the year 2020 when you met earlier this evening in our library. In the presentation that I'll narrate a little bit tonight, you'll see pictures that staff have shared with me to share with you. You'll see students learning and teachers teaching through the challenges and opportunities of both construction and the pandemic. You can expect to see construction updates, how we are using space here at Neil Armstrong, as well as new routines and procedures for staying safe during the pandemic. Mostly, you're going to see students learning and playing and teachers teaching. You'll see a lot of masks, but you'll also see a lot of smiles. You just got to look in their eyes. So without further ado, so our playgrounds are done. This is a picture of the West Side playground. It appeals to grades 2 and 5 and looks like a rocket ship. You have a lot of fun out there. See, the kids are up there. They really enjoy it. On the east side, our playground is done. The west side also has new 4 square courts, a basketball court, and climbing sphere. So there's a picture of our east side playground for our youngest students. It's safely enclosed by fencing, and it includes a drag strip for children to ride scooters and tricycles around. And there we have some of our youngest learners enjoying that. Construction on our new A-wing is moving along. And we're looking forward to our new secure entrance, which is what you see there, and the health office and classrooms. Now, this is our PE space right behind you, board members. Includes the new student bathroom and storage. So we're using spaces in creative new ways for social distancing and to accommodate construction. Our D-wing has a curtain that you can push back to make larger classrooms for more space, where everyone has room to stretch and move. The cafe has become a classroom this year, and everyone really likes it. The library, as you just experienced, offers a space for teachers to collaborate and enjoy lunch in a safe, socially distant way. Our music and art teachers are sharing their space with colleagues this year. Staying safe means washing up all the time, all day long, and sanitizing. Mr. DeSantos, who wanted to be a Ghostbuster as a kid, I don't know if you can see his gun there, gets around and sanitizes very frequently during the day. And there's Mrs. Secor and Mrs. Shaw in our health office leading the effort to keep track of students' health and well-being. Minimizing contact between student cohorts is another safety strategy. You see, Mrs. Conroy has a bathroom just for her students. We deliver breakfast and lunch to classes. Students can eat comfortably and safely with masks removed 6 feet apart. And we do have 3 special areas that go into the classes for their special area: class, art, library, and music. And PE is able to use the gym. Thank goodness we can use our gym, and we're outside as much as we can be. Arrival and dismissal are paced so cohorts are escorted safely and do not intermingle. Families have been really great about adjusting to our new car rider routine in the back parking lot. So teachers are teaching when students are at school. You can see they have PPE at that small table separating them. Teachers teach when students are at home. Those are 2 of our remote teachers. And teachers teach when students are at school and at home. I don't know if you can tell, there's a laptop there with pictures of students that are online. So kids get mask breaks, there they are. And kids get movement and stretch breaks too. And kids have their classroom jobs to do. Because kids are working, they're working hard. They're working hard inside the building, staying 6 feet apart whenever we can, with their masks on, and using personal learning tools to stay safe. And when the weather is good, learning moves outside, where grass and brick walls are kind of a fun alternative to floors and smartboards. Behind the scenes, everyone, really, we couldn't do this at Neil Armstrong without everyone, central office, the tech hub, all across the district. There's a long list of thank yous and appreciation. It's truly teamwork because it's all for the kids. Because you can see their smiles. So thank you very much. That's
Nice
our
job.
Neil Armstrong report.
All right.
Awesome, thank
Great
you.
Are there any questions, board members? Nope. All right.
Then we'll move on to the GC Pride Award.
What's that?
GC Pride Awards.
Award.
Your GC Pride Awards.
GC Pride Award.
That's next.
Yes.
All right, well, we're really excited about our GC Pride Awards this evening. We have 3 Armstrong Spartan Stars at this evening's Board of Education meeting. And we'd like to first call 2 together. We have to call them together because they're such close partners. They work together. They're like the dynamic duo. So Mrs. Shaw and Mrs. Secor, come on up. So Mrs. Shaw is our school nurse, and she's celebrating a year with us. When are we celebrating a year? Is it coming up or did it just go by? It just went by, I thought so. And then Mrs. Secor, she's our health office aide, and you're celebrating your 5th year anniversary next month in November. This September, okay, all right. So 5 years is a long time. I wrote some words to help me remember all the wonderful things that I want to say, because I could go on and on and on. I really could. Since Mrs. Shaw has joined us, the staff, and especially our students and families, have come to rely on her expert care and your very calm and reassuring demeanor. You know, you inspire trust and confidence. So thank you. Mrs. Secor has been the rock of our health office. Up until Mrs. Shaw joined us, we had a little bit of a revolving door in the health office. And without Mrs. Secor to anchor us, well, we don't want to imagine, right, Mrs. Secor? No, we don't. We couldn't ask for a better team, especially during this pandemic. They've had to collaborate with the district, with sister schools, with me, with teachers, to create, monitor, and adjust to new routines that have taken hours and hours to figure out to ensure the safety and well-being of our students. They truly are the model of the Spartan way. I recognize Mrs. Secor's report to me this September as kind of a representative statement of the outstanding work ethic of this team. So Mrs. Secor, I don't know if you remember, you said this to me. You said, yes, you said this to me. She said, you know, Mrs. McGarry, in the last 5 years, even with the pandemic, we have had a better opening than we did this September. You told me that, didn't you? There you go. So thank you and kudos to you, Mrs. Shaw and Mrs. Secor. We have a couple things for you. So it's my pleasure to invite Mrs. Bezan to honor our next Armstrong Star Spartan, and I'll be standing right here.
Well, it's my pleasure to honor Heather Voss. This past summer, I had the pleasure of being involved in her interview and selecting her to be our computer aide. And it was really kind of a crazy time to be hired because we were all figuring out how everything was going to work this school year. And computers and technology cannot be more important than this year. I mean, we've always used technology, but as you know, we're relying on it so much. And when we hired her, she just jumped right in, figured things out without a lot of guidance. And I don't know how she did it, but always very patient, taking her time to answer parents' questions, to answer my questions, put up with us. The teachers love her. She has worked so hard. And the one thing I noticed is she goes way above and beyond. One night I was here trying to figure out school tool at about 5 o'clock on a Friday night. I looked up from my desk and who's there? But Heather. I'm like, what are you doing here? You're not being paid right now. And she just gave of herself without thinking to make sure that the computers were ready for the students on Monday. So I thank you so much for everything you've done. Thank you, everybody. Superintendent Daly, special recognition.
You may have heard this month that 84 different weeks, days to appreciate different people. But this week, it's School Board Appreciation Week. So on behalf of the children, faculty, staff, and administration, I want to thank each of you for your highly paid dedication to the education of the kids of each child. We all know that you give selflessly, professionally, and you give what's most important in life, and it's time. Your time to take care of our students. So we want to say thank you by giving you both a certificate, and then since these meetings can go late, an official GC coffee mug that keeps it nice and hot or cold, depending on your preference. But again, thanking all of you for what you do for our children and living the Spartan way. So thank you all.
Thank you. Next, we move on to agenda changes.
Yes, we have changes to personnel actions, the addition of district credit card policy update, and the addition of the safety committee update.
Thank you. Under board president comments this evening, on behalf of President Kaczynski, myself, and the board, we'd just like to continue to thank the staff and the students and families of Gates Child Central School District for continuing to always put students first, student focus, staying student focused, and please make sure that you always practice in self-care. So we just like to extend those thank yous to you again. Then moving on to points of interest. No points of interest. Moving on to report of meetings.
Here.
I recently attended the information exchange meeting from Monroe County School Board. The topic was reopening schools with COVID, focusing on mental health and inequity. It was really nice to hear that all of Monroe County is really on the same page that we talked about here as well. Nice to see that support across the county. One of the things they said that really stuck out to me was that 4 times more people experience psychological trauma than physical trauma. So following up or something like COVID for a post-traumatic stress. It was pretty interesting, and I think it's going to be something we'll be watching kids and staff for a long time. The minute just came out, there's also a recording of the meeting on the Monroe County School Board Association website. If you're interested in watching the meeting, it was done by Rush Henrietta. Thank you. Frank?
Just a reminder that the New York State School Board Association annual meeting is the end of the month on the 31st. Get a chance to look at the resolutions that we propose. Remember that they become the basis of our associations. A lot of the efforts in Albany and in Washington, D.C. So just let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any other reported meetings? If not, we'll move on to visitor comments.
Let me read that.
The Gates Child Central School District Board of Education invites public comment at this time. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. We ask that individuals state their name and address prior to comments and utilize the podium or microphone to address the board. Although the board will not respond directly to individual comments at this time, items brought to the attention of the board may be taken under consideration for future response or action. In order to comply with the laws related to confidentiality, we ask that issues related to a specific school district personnel or students be brought to the attention of the superintendent of schools privately. The board reserves the right to terminate a speaker's comments if his or her comments are in excess of 3 minutes or repetitive or are not appropriate for discussion in an open public forum. So first up, we have Stacy Ray Benner Beatty, sorry.
Good evening. My name is Stacey Ray Beatty. I know it's a mouthful, or words, a lot. I live on Chestnut Ridge, and I've been a resident of Charlotte for the past 10 years. October is Dyslexia Awareness Month, and I wanted to share my story about dyslexia. It wasn't until I was an adult that I even realized I had dyslexia. I happened to read something about it and started making connections. I asked my mom, she confirmed my suspicions and reminded me of my journey. My first grade teacher, Mrs. Klein, who I remember being super tough, recognized that I couldn't read. That I was regurgitating memorized lines from stories and not actually reading. The school wanted to send me back to kindergarten. Mrs. Klein talked to my mom about a tutor. This tutor would become my saving grace for 5 years she worked with me. And at $40 in 1986, per session twice a week, it was a great expense to my parents. Eventually, my parents were able to secure financial support from the district, but that was in itself another battle. To this day, I still use the tools my tutor gave me to help me manage my dyslexia. I went from a child who could read to an adult with 2 masters and more books than bookshelves. I doubt that would have been possible without Mrs. Klein recognizing an issue and giving my parents options that the school system wasn't willing to provide. My struggle with dyslexia did not end with the 5 years of tutoring either. It is something I face every day. In high school, my counselor told me not to bother applying for college because my SAT scores were so low. I stand before you a graduate of the University of Rochester, and I hold a master's from St. John Fisher College. I know you've heard from my friend Tina Carney before talk about dyslexia and her son. And while it is vital for parents like Tina to support their children's education, it is equally, if not more important, that teachers have the education, training, and tools they need to support our children. I can't imagine where I would be or who I would have become if Mrs. Klein hadn't been my teacher. As a mother of an almost 3-year-old, I hope he never has to experience any kind of struggle. I also hope that if he does, which they're saying dyslexia is genetic, the school district will give him the tools he needs to be successful. Additionally, absolutely hate public speaking. I avoid it as much as possible. Reading something to remote strangers is a complete nightmare for me. So that's how important dyslexia awareness is to me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, we have Brennan Carney.
Okay, this thing's on. Hi, I'm Brennan Carney, 30 Everett Drive. I was in the last meeting. I'm also here to talk about dyslexia. So if so at the end of a meeting I went to, I think it was like a town board meeting. I don't know his name, but somebody told me that I had power, so I'm just gonna use it. So I would like to first I'd like to recognize the Rochester Dyslexia Center, which is helping me. I actually had a meeting this morning/afternoon. And it's really helping me, and I really want the school to help me with my dyslexia. It comes a challenge every day, honestly. Because sometimes I can get confused and caught up, and being a 5th grader with dyslexia is kind of overkill, quote unquote. So I'd like to raise dyslexia awareness, and I hope you will support my cause.
Thank you. Moving on to discussion items. First up is ad hoc committee update. You want to give it? You can give it.
Sure. We will have a draft of the updated board handbook ready for everyone to peruse at our next board meeting. And have begun discussions of our next book study that we'll be working on after we finish our current one, White Fragility.
Thank you. Education Foundation update.
The Education Foundation met this past week and looked at their fall applications. And I believe there were two that they awarded funds to. The senior class.
Mm-hmm. In the class of 2023.
Sorry, I was doing the math in my head.
Yep, it's
so
okay.
the 2023. So funds have been awarded for their causes, especially because they've had so many struggles that they faced in the past 2 school years to try and help with that. They're looking for more members. If anybody would like to be a part of the Education Foundation, they're very nice. It's not a very large time commitment. Are they still doing they're still doing the brick pavers?
Mm-hmm.
The brick paver fundraiser is still going. Those are going in out by a wonderful improvement outside. And I think those were the big things we talked about for right now. That's all.
Thank you. Safety Committee update.
Like Rob or Mitch?
Sure, I can take this. The safety committee met on Wednesday, and it was a good meeting. We had representation from the HPD, district staff, the ambulance and fire groups were there as well, so it was a good representation. We talked about the cleaning protocols that we're using in the district currently given COVID-19. We talked about the differences between disinfecting and sanitizing. The conversation also focused on the electrostatic spraying, and there was a demonstration of how the cleaning and spraying is done, which was very good. In addition to that, there were some updates on the capital project. Talked a little bit about the Safe School Helpline, which is available to all student, staff, and community members. The district-wide safety plan has talked about where the district is at, given the current state of affairs. Talked about the building level safety plans and all the new requirements that are included within that. Noting that there was a district-wide lockdown drill that happened yesterday. Talked a little bit about the quick reference pamphlets that the district circulates and also the mobilized units. There was also a discussion surrounding the fire inspection reports, and talked a little bit about the types of violations that we need to look at in the district in order to avoid getting any notices. We talked about eye wash stations and showers and classrooms, and how they should be used and what to look out for, and then wrap the meeting up at that point. Overall, it was a great meeting, and the next meeting is scheduled for December 9th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Policy Committee update.
Am I doing that too? Okay. Or Frank?
Yeah, the policy committee, met to discuss, the policy meeting, the social media and board members. And we reviewed about 10 different policies, for clarity, and most of them are being introduced later tonight, for first reading for proof.
Okay. So next we have the. We're gonna do motions to waive the first read. Somebody want to do motion?
Yep, we do that later on under
Okay.
action.
So we're just gonna go through each one.
Yeah, so, yeah, the key policies to go over for this evening were the first read of our organizational chart that was updated. Second being our district credit card to make sure it doesn't say that it's locked in the purchasing office, which it used to be. It is no longer. And privacy and security for student data and teacher principal data is just updating it based on the way things have changed. So those are the key ones.
Okay.
So now we go on
We're
to
going to
consensus.
So next we'll move to consensus items. And can I get a motion for approval of consensus items C through K? Motion Rob Long, second Mike
C, we're
Bailey.
gonna move B to
Or
action.
maybe, sorry,
Yep.
just making sure I'm
Yep,
processing.
yep.
Sorry.
Yep,
Um,
discussion.
discussion?
We'll be moving B to a action item out of consensus. That's why it's C through.
Sorry.
Yep, nope, that's a great question.
All in favor? And it is, Frank, did I miss you? Unanimous? And, oh, Michaela.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, no, not
That's
yet,
the one
'cause
we're
we gotta
moving to
include it
act-
out.
yep.
Okay. So we're actually gonna go down to action items.
Yes.
So next up, Gates Child Eye, moral imperative.
If I could have Mr. DeYoung and Mrs. Stem discuss how we came to our moral imperative that we discussed with our board at our book study last week.
Absolutely.
They are the leaders of our root cause team. And that after discussion with the board, after discussion with the root cause team and working hand in hand with NYU, we're excited tonight to take this next step by adopting our moral imperative. But I'd like to give credit to the people that led it and did a phenomenal job getting us to this point. So Mrs. Stem and Mr. DeYoung.
We would just like to take a few minutes to really thank you for your commitment as a board to encouraging us to do this work and that recognition of the work that the root cause team has done to create this moral imperative. As a team, we have spent about 40 hours together in the last year working and learning personally and professionally around being culturally responsive and understanding equity and implicit bias. And for some people on the team, they spend upwards of 50 to 60 hours in helping working on subcommittees and other pieces. As a team, we became very committed to this, and I feel as though adopting this moral imperative is really creates the roots of the root cause team, creates the roots that's really going to anchor that work of us moving forward with a strategic plan around making real change for our students across the district. And we're very thankful for the opportunity to have done this work. And I know Jason has a few words from some of our root cause members that he just wanted to share as well.
Yes, so we did ask our root cause members who knew that they couldn't be here in attendance tonight just because of social distancing, but obviously hopefully they're able to view this because they're very appreciative of the support that the Board of Education and the superintendent have provided to our work and the adoption of this moral imperative. So I did want to share one comment with you that kind of summed up the comments that we received, because we did elicit some comments and said, what would you like us to tell the board on behalf of the root cause team? So the comment was, I want to thank the Board of Education for their continued support. It means a great deal that you trust our judgment to make decisions that will make the district better tomorrow than we were yesterday. On a personal note, being able to work towards structural change has given me a brighter outlook on the future. And I think that's how we all feel. So thank you.
So what is our moral imperative? This will go hand in hand with our mission and vision as we move forward as a district. And here's what the committee developed over time and the board worked with us last week on. So Gates Child Eye Central School District has a moral duty to serve our students and families. Every student must be able to receive an equitable education where they are represented, protected, and able to thrive. We acknowledge the presence of white privilege and bias and how this perpetuates systematic racism. Gates Charlie Central School District is committed to the necessary growth required to develop and sustain equity and dismantle disproportionality. I'm excited as the superintendent to move forward with this as we continue to make our district the premier place for all students, all staff to succeed. So we appreciate the board's support as we do this. Great work to make sure that all students get the best education possible in Gates Charlie.
Thank you. No other questions, and can I get a motion to approve the Gates Charlie Moore Imperative? Carrie Keyes and Andy Bailey. All in favor? It is unanimous. Next, we will move on to Records Management Officer.
We're asking the board to appoint Miranda Byer, our new administrative assistant to the Assistant Superintendent of Business, as our Records Management Officer as part of her regular duties.
All right, can I get a motion to approve Miranda Byer as the Administrative Assistant to the Assistant Superintendent of Business as Records Management Officer for the 2020-2021 school year as part of her regular duties? Motion, Mike Bailey and Katie Coffey. All in favor? It's unanimous. And then moving on to second policy reads.
We're asking for a motion to waive the second reading for policies 4211, 5321, and 5676.
Can I get a motion? Rob Long, Katie Coffey. All in favor? It is unanimous. Next, policy 4211, organizational chart. Can I get a motion to approve 4211 organizational chart? Katie Coffey and Rob Long. All in favor? Unanimous. Next, policy 5321, district credit card. Motion to approve 5321 district credit card. Mike Bailey, Carrie Keyes. All in favor? Unanimous. Next, policy 5676, privacy and security for student data and teacher and principal data. Motion to approve. Rob Long, Andrea Hingy Unson. All in favor? It is unanimous.
And then we gotta do G. We
Oh,
gotta do G.
G, go back to G.
Yep.
So,
Superintendent recommended resignations, appointments, leaves, and
Yes.
terminations.
so can I get a motion to approve superintendent recommended resignation, appointment, leaves, and termination? Carrie Keyes and Mike Bailey. All in favor? And it is unanimous with the resignation.
With Mr. Long.
Mr. Long
recusing.
recusing himself.
Yes.
And Michaela.
Thank you, Doctor. We just like to acknowledge our next retirement. This is because it's been with the district for 15 years. He served in the department of the admin building. It was a phenomenal job, and will be continuing with us, but they don't have time to help you going forward. But we certainly wish her well, like she does eventually, finally retire.
And we thank her in advance for her service. Next, on to superintendent's comments.
Well, we're excited to announce that tomorrow we'll have our second K-5 remote learning materials pickup day from 9 to 12 and then 5 to 7 p.m. at the administration building. We want to thank Tops for donating the bags. For all of us, we know that if you're at Tops and you got to get a paper bag, it's a nickel, but they gave us enough for all. which is nice, so you can reuse them later. Athletics. It has been amazing to see our student athletes out on the fields, running through the woods, and in our pools. This week, we'll be celebrating our seniors at games and contests. We want to thank all the young men and women that have dedicated themselves to representing Gates Chili in such a positive manner. We want to thank their parents, guardians, and their coaches that have molded them into outstanding Spartans. This week is School Bus Safety Week. We honor all the outstanding drivers, bus attendants, mechanics, and directors that ensure the safety of our students each day. Again, I want to reiterate that one person's extremely egregious error should not reflect on the outstanding professionalism, attention to detail, and dedication of our outstanding transportation department. They do a phenomenal job taking care of our Spartans each day. Again, I want to thank the board on behalf of all the faculty, administration, staff, and students of our outstanding Gates Chili Board of Education for your tireless dedication, passion, and professionalism in your service to our district. I hope these tokens of appreciation show you how we are so appreciative of the way you exemplify our Spartan way. We're excited to announce we're going to be able to do something for our seniors. We're going to have a senior Halloween outdoor breakfast, hopefully snow-free, on Thursday, October 29th from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. In the field house parking lot. So there'll be some different things they can do, wear some costumes, and hopefully we'll keep it all socially distanced, masked up, and have a nice time together as a class. And last, tomorrow we'll be announcing as a district that we'll be participating in the United Way 21-Day Challenge. We'll participate along with all the Monroe County school districts, including the City of Rochester schools, in the United Way 21-Day Challenge. This is a 21-day equity challenge, and it's a powerful opportunity to develop in our community a deeper understanding of how inequity and racism affects our lives and our community. Gates Chili, along with thousands of others in the greater Rochester region, commit to deepening our understanding of and willingness to confront racism, bias, and other social inequities. Our faculty and staff and administration will be participating on a voluntary basis. The challenge is 100% free. Each day, we'll receive an email from October 23rd through November 20th with links to recommended articles, videos, podcasts, reflections, and more. Daily topics will include understanding bias, levels of racism, housing inequities, building a race equity culture, and many more. This will definitely support our implementation of our district moral imperative that was adopted tonight. And again, thank you to each of you for the many hours you dedicate to our students, staff, and faculty. It is very much appreciated, and that is my report, ma'am.
Thank you so much. At this time, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Carrie Kies and Mike Bailey. All in favor? And we're adjourned.
All right.